if Greg's not here. Is that what you're saying, Nick? I think that's what you're saying. Merry fucking Christmas, everybody.
What was that, Greg?
I don't know. I forgot what I said.
All my viewers will fucking leave.
Yeah, your viewers will leave if Greg's not here.
First.
Well,
there's one. There's one. Hey there, beer tubers. Welcome back to Beer Analysis 101.
Merry Homeless, Nick.
Kind of Christmas episode or Christmas beers again this week. We are looking at, holiday themed beers in general tonight. Again, even though we did the last week, let's enjoy the festive spirit and do it all over again. Without further ado, let's get to who we have with us, starting with Redbeard, who's got baubles in his beard. Jingle balls.
What's up?
Not much. All right, dude, what did you bring for a beer tonight?
I brought a little can.
Oh,
the Nanaimo Bar Imperial Porter. This thing's fucking huge.
Somebody was hoping Dan was going to show up and vote for him. That's what's going on there.
No, not at all. This is just the only Christmas-themed thing I saw in the LCBO.
Well, I was going to say, isn't that the one that Dan actually hated? No, Dan hated the one he got locally. But I think it was a collaboration with Muskoka, if I remember correctly.
568 milliliters.
I think there's something like that going on. 500.
And wait, this is
like one of the Muskoka's big boy cans.
Yeah, Muskoka likes to do that and they do it with their big beers too. Like they did a double IPA with that.
Well, this one's 9%. That's a big beer right there. So
yeah, it's a big boy as well.
So that's what I got.
Oh, you're a big boy.
I'm a big kid now.
Boom, boom. All righty.
I wear pull-ups.
Speaking of pull-ups, the man who wears no underwear at all, Mr. Lee Russell. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm not a man. I'm a killing machine with no past and no future.
Sounds about right.
I destroy myself, but my programming would allow that.
What the fuck is that from?
Doing good, Nick. How you doing?
Not too bad.
It sounded almost like Universal Soldiery, but it wasn't either of them, I don't think, was it?
It's from the Eliminators.
Oh, not heard of that.
I showed it once on a movie night.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
I got two beers tonight to show. So, first one is from Garrison Brewing here in Nova Scotia, the all lit up festive strong ale.
Ooh.
It's a spiced winter warmer at 7% alcohol by volume. This is basically a rebranding, reformulation of their old winter warmer they used to have back in the day. I know Nicholas remembers it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So they the last few years, I think like since about 2020 or so, they've kind of reintroduced it in cans under the new sort of branding, and they've changed up the recipe a little bit. And secondly, I have a seasonal from Nine Locks here in Nova Scotia as well. It's their vanilla porter.
Ooh.
At 5% alcohol by volume, and this is not nitro.
Somebody was hoping
infused.
Chris Isaac would be here.
No, this isn't nitro infused or anything like that. So you can go fuck yourself, Carrie.
Hey,
all that bullshit.
Damn, Lee's gonna slap you with his left
I think
hand
it was
nitro
still a
stout.
fucking decent retort.
All right.
It was. It was topical.
Thanks, Greg.
Speaking of topical, hi, Greg. Nice topics.
That's my hat. Well, Nick,
Topical
this week I expect to make Carrie. I've actually brought a good beer this week, although I expect Carrie to be upset because it's not technically a Christmas beer either. So, what's this?
Seasonal.
Didn't you do that last week?
I have a proper glass. I have a proper glass.
It's not. It's an Amsterdam product.
No, it's a Bourbon County.
Bourbon County. Oh, fancy.
But wait a minute. No, we're not bringing this at all. We're bringing the variant, the Banana Foster Stout.
Whoa.
Which you'll notice.
If that's done well, that could probably be really good.
Well, Carrie, here's the thing. It's tough to say how well it'll be because the LCBO was nice enough to bring in the 2023 versions of Bourbon County, of actually both of them. So these have both been aged a year for me. So, and this one comes in at, let's see. Oh, this one's low. It's only 13.9%. So compared to, let's see what's the regular one is. I cannot. 14.1. So it's
Is
not a
that the
huge difference.
first time the LCBOs sold beers over 11.9?
No, they do it all the time.
I've never seen an LCBO beer over 11.9 myself.
They don't do Ontario craft beers that are 11.9 because of the distilling thing, even though breweries basically ignore it nowadays anyway. But they will bring in, like, even stuff like Santa Claus. They bring that in every year, and I think it's 14%.
I've never even heard of that. What's that?
Somebody sent it to me from Ontario one time.
Okay.
So. Santa Claus. Yeah, do a search. You might be able to get it. It's usually a shelf turd in a lot of.
It's like an Austrian beer named after Saint Nick. Sorry, I'm over talking, Greg.
Santa Claus.
That's okay. That's okay. It's a group discussion. It's a group discussion. We like to over talk and just chat and shoot the shit. It's like we're a bunch of friends talking about things that friends talk about.
Let's not go crazy now.
Wow, Greg Cocky. Wow,
Greg Cocky.
I'm pretty sure that was one of my names at some point throughout this holiday season.
It has to have been.
It's just too obvious. Anyways, yes. So I'm gonna bring out the Banana Fosters. A funny thing, much like an Nanaimo bar, if I'm even pronouncing that correctly, I've never had a Banana Foster. I know what the dessert is because I looked it up, but I've never had one, so I won't be able to compare it to the actual dessert.
I've also not had one. I'm just thinking banana flavor in a stout would work really well if it's done right.
You think so? I guess we'll find out.
Isn't Banana Foster like a thing where they light on fire?
I think it's like banana vanilla ice cream, and I think sometimes they might put like some alcohol in it and light it on fire. But
made by cooking sliced bananas and walnuts in a buttery rum sauce and serving it over vanilla ice cream.
Oh,
that was going to be my guess.
That does sound pretty good.
There we go.
Yeah, to put that into a stout,
that sounds amazeballs.
I think
and I will say due to an error at the LCBO, they knocked $10 off the price of this because when it came in, I said, "Hey, can you match the new non-tax price?" They're like, "Sure." So they matched it, and they're like, "Oh, this $25 bottle is now $15." I was like, "I'll take it."
Okay.
Thank you.
That weird no tax thing they're doing at the LCBO is very random, but I like it.
Oh, it's random, and they have no fucking clue what's going on. So
and you know what? It's only supposed to be on 7% and lower.
Yeah,
it says
doing whatever.
It says like the thing in my LCBO says spirits are excluded. I don't think it says anything about an ABV thing on beer.
It was when the Liberals first showed it off. It was supposed to be anything 7% or under, but I have like breweries like GLB selling Apocalypse Later for no tax, and that's 10%. So they just seem to be ignoring it.
I literally just crumpled up my receipt from the ANBL, and I had to pay tax on the beer I'm going to show next. So, all right. So,
is it supposed to be a Canada-wide thing? I didn't even know it was the Liberals doing that or whatever.
Yeah, it's Canada-wide. It's HST for some provinces that have it, GST for the ones that don't have HST.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like where New Brunswick's HST, I forget, is in Nova Scotia HST? I think it is.
Yep, 15%.
So you don't have to pay 15%.
Ours used to be 15. Now it's 13. Yay.
Okay, bad first sign that there was no pop when I popped this, so I don't think it's carbonated, but it smells good.
Okay.
It could just be low carbonation. Pour it violently.
There is not a lot of carbonation there.
That's not terrible. It's not terrible.
There's a little bit. There's a little bit.
What I expect from a bourbon barrel aged stout. Like
that's just from the infection in the bottle. That's
that would be the funniest thing. Greg missed a fucking accidental infection.
It doesn't.
It would have foamed a lot more.
It wouldn't surprise me, but it doesn't smell at all of infection, so I don't think that's the case. But
how many bottles will bring out your dead? Did you lose to that?
I don't remember, but probably 5 or 6, somewhere in that range.
I feel like after you opened the first one, and you probably should have contacted the brewery, and they might have given you some kind of money back or something. Maybe, I don't know.
I probably should have, but instead I just got to be angry about it for years and years and years.
You're still a little anti-Bellwood.
Well, so the funny thing about it is that I don't remember how many bottles I bought in total. I'm guessing 12, just because that sounds like a number Greg would buy. And of all the bottles, I sent some around. I don't remember who I sent them to, but I sent some to people. I had some myself. They were all perfectly great, except the one Ashley Sexton got. Ashley Sexton got a infected one, and that's why we did the Bring Out Your Dead review. He gave it a really shit review. So I actually gave Ashley another bottle for free because I'm so kind, because I want him to try it. I'm like, try this one, see if it's any better. And he tried. He's like, oh, this is amazing. This is completely different than my beer. I'm like, okay, well, that's weird. Obviously, you had a really bad bottle because he was describing it like malt vinegar and stuff like that.
That's,
I'm like,
that's
okay.
weird for it to be.
I'm like, that, yeah, I'm like, that's really bad. And then I saved some bottles, and then like a year later, like 6 months to a year later, I started popping them open. I'm like, oh, here's my infected bottles.
But like, isn't that odd? For like usually if something's infected, it's going to be the batch and like every single bottle.
Well, if I were to hazard a guess, I'm no expert. If I were to hazard a guess, it was probably a certain barrel that was infected because they do a whack load of barrels and then
I forgot about that.
together.
Barrels. Yep, that makes sense.
So that would be my guess. Is like it was probably
so not the whole batch, just
infected.
the batch that was put into that barrel. That makes total. Didn't Albino Chad talked about that a long time ago about some brewery that was doing barrel aging stuff, but they had an infected barrel, and they never did anything about it. So anytime you bought that particular beer from that brewery,
Oh, that's that King of the Forest from. Well,
yeah, that was
American brewery.
Okay, but
well,
yeah,
that was the one they had
kind of thing or something.
Well, that was the one they had the beer that it was infected, and then they just sold it as a sour.
It as a sour, yeah.
But
New Ontario,
Wild
I
Ale
think,
or
did
some
that.
shit.
From what I
understand, New
understand.
Ontario that fully exploded, like just exploded.
Oh, who knows?
Yeah.
It was
anyway,
a maple sour or something. It was fucking weird.
We'll come back to this. Thank you, Greg. Let's shamelessly put me on the screen because I want to get this thing rolling. So now that Greg has shown that beer off, and I did pay tax on this, although it's not exactly like it was expensive. I feel a little undergunned now because of what I'm up against, but this one's here is a beer from Picaroons, but it is kind of a proper Christmas beer because it is a hello, my name is Spruce Christmas Tree Imperial IPA, 7.5% ABV.
You know, in my opinion, your beer wins if there was some kind of label.
It's actually Christmas related. Yeah,
when we're doing beers like this, like show and tell, I feel like there should be like a category for a label. Like I would give you my point for best label today.
It doesn't look nice. I like the look.
It's cool. I like it. It looks very festive.
Yeah.
I also feel if that beer tastes like what the name is, it actually will be an awesome beer because I like my tiny IPAs.
Yeah, it's like well, I'll get into my history here in a second, but
the one you just showed, yours is pretty festive looking, but Nick's just has that whole red and green thing going on. You know what I mean?
No,
like
he's got the best looking one.
All right, so let's circle back and get our histories from. What's your history with the Nanaimo bar there?
I'm sure they made it like last year, and I had at least one or something, but I don't think I reviewed it. And
I gotta take a look at. You must have been on that BA101. At least that's how you were.
Did we do that in the BA101?
Yeah, we would be. I'm pretty sure.
Then then that was probably the one I had.
Fuck off.
Let me think of the sweater you're wearing, Nick. Made me think of my coworker that came to the hockey game the other night. Has a National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation themed Christmas sweater.
Oh yeah,
with it's got like the Clark Griswold, like the DVD cover, whatever. With actual working Christmas lights all around it. And if he pushes a button, he does the whole speech where you're a dick, or whatever. The fucking it's one of the better.
Kiss my ass.
That's yes.
Merry Christmas, kiss my ass, kiss
that's
his
the
ass.
One.
Happy
That's
Hanukkah.
the one. Yeah, it's he pushed the button. It says that. It's fucking hilarious. But yeah, that's my history. And I think I would have been, unless I was working. I don't see why I wouldn't have been on that beer.
I'm googling it right now, and the answer is you were not there. It was last year, I think. Unless it was 2022, and it's been less than. Oh yeah, we did it on December 28th, 2022. So not sure where you were. Lady Lee was there. Greg was there, obviously.
Well, here's a question: what day was December 28th? Well, that would have been Wednesday. That was always Wednesday.
Well, obviously it was a Wednesday, but it would have been that's Wednesday after Christmas. So
that's what I'm wondering.
Was that before or after you started at the arena?
22. I'm pretty sure
work or something.
Wait, the 20. That might have been the year I started. I might have been still part time then, so I might have I can't remember. But I'm sure I've had at least one other can of this.
It's either that or you couldn't get the beer or something. But that's weird. Like Laylee was there. That was Laylee. I think Laylee was in her old apartment. Anyway, we're getting off topic here. So, in other words, you've had this before. At least you're pretty sure.
I think now I'm not. Now I'm. You know what? I didn't do this. I did not look on my channel and go, none. I reviewed this myself December 9th of 2023. So I have had it before. There we go. Confirmed.
It kind of makes me wonder. Maybe I should skip through the video. Yes. Remember when we used to do digital presents?
That sounds
familiar. You recorded
pre-recorded shit.
Pre-recorded shit.
It's been a while.
We haven't done that kind of thing in a while, but yeah, you were there.
Oh, I was there, but not there.
Yeah, well, here, let me just share my screen briefly. This is what we haven't done this in a while, and technically we can still do this, but nobody does it anymore. Is that we would pre-record segments, and then I would just play the segments back.
Now that you've put that back in my head, again, I'm off on Wednesdays, unless it's the summertime. In the summertime, when I'm kind of not around sometimes, I'm going to start doing this shit again. Because why not?
We fucking do it again.
Why not? When was the last time it happened? Why did it stop?
I don't know.
That's a random question. Because it used to happen. Like Dan should be doing this every single goddamn week.
I think more people just became available.
I don't suggest
and also, I think more people became available, and I think Dan just doesn't give a shit. So there you go. There's your answer.
Yeah, no, Dan's just an old man who don't give a shit about anything unless he's,
Well, that's his fucking Twitch channel where he fucking messages his Discord 85 times a day talking about the upcoming match and this fucking rivalry and this and this. Yay. It's funny.
I was going to say
Dan needs to earn enough points with his wife so he can get his once a year Christmas sex shenanigans. And Dan, if I'm wrong about that, will come online and tell us and bring a beer.
He needs to get his jingle balls.
I mean, they're pretty blue. So.
They're pretty blue ball.
Give your jingle balls a tug.
Blue Christmas.
He needs that snow unleashed.
All right, let's keep this thing rolling. Thank you, Beard. I think you gave your history.
No, I gotta do it again.
All this trouble over a fat little man in a red suit.
Jesus.
So for the Garrison All Lit Up, like I said, I've been having it since it was their winter warmer back in somewhere in the early 2000s. They first started releasing it, I guess, in bottles, and it was pretty great back then. And it's changed slightly over the years now that they've rebranded it and renamed it and everything. But it's essentially kind of the same idea, sort of the same beer. So I have a pretty extensive history of that. I have reviewed the new version, this version, on my channel a couple years back. And for the vanilla porter from Nine Locks, I've reviewed this on my channel as well. This one's a bit more new to me. I've had it a couple times, and yeah, that's about it.
Nice. All right, let's go, Greg. Well, Greg, what's your history with Bourbon County in general?
Well, I was gonna say this specific vintage I've never had before. Bourbon County, it might come as a shock to you that the man who took my Bourbon County virginity was none other than Joe Thomas, who of course was not in a uniform, but I don't remember if he sent me some or we traded a bottle share or what it was, but I believe I had it for the first time in 2015. He gave me one of those little bottles of it, which I thought I actually may have had that bottle still, but no, it turns out like a good boy. I threw it away because I don't want to be too much of a hoarder. So I don't have it anymore. So I have no proof of it. You guys are going to have to believe me on this. But that 25th, God damn it. Yeah, I've actually never had it before.
Nice.
End of show. I know. Anyway, so yeah, Joe gave it to me. I tried it. I usually try to get it at the LCBO, even though it is kind of priced a little high, but when you compare it to American pricing, it's actually not that bad because from what I understand, I think it's anywhere from $10 to $20 a bottle, depending where you buy it. So Canada's $25 a bottle with no tax. So I don't know. It's a little high, but it's probably not that crazy. Plus, it's usually an excellent beer. So I try to have it every year if I can. Last year they didn't release it because for whatever reason they are holding it back to release it this year. So I guess next year we'll get the 2024 vintages. I won't give my thoughts on this yet, but I would very much love to try this fresh. If it's a big beer like this and I choose to age it, I always like to know what it's like fresh versus actually aged. But
did they change up how they bottle it? Like release 2024 versus it was put in the cask 2024 or something?
No, this was literally the 2024, the same one that the US got last year. And for whatever reason, a big batch.
So we got all the shelf turds.
Yeah, so we got the variant. I believe they had 1,000 of the variant, and then they had of the standard Bourbon County. I believe they had 2,000, which actually isn't sold out yet. You can still buy it if you choose to. So but they're both the 2023, so it's pre-aged for you whether you like it or not.
I've still got a bottle of the 2022, I think, sitting in my cupboard.
Drink that shit.
I should. I'm thinking maybe doing that New Year's because I'm on call. That's Brandon. All right, let's.
You should get annihilated when you're on call.
No. All right, so my turn to give my history on spruce. This used to, if I recall correctly, this used to be under a different name. Like Pickeroons used to have a pivot series of Imperial IPAs where they try like different hops and different. It was the same basic recipe where it was a 7.5% Imperial IPA, which I've had hit or miss results with Pickeroons IPAs. I find that I find that the yeast that they use for a lot of their beers, they use it in their IPAs, and their IPAs just come off as like almost like like diacetyl and malty, which doesn't really like and of course this was all during the haze craze. So I mean everybody wanted like big juicy beers and lots of hoppy flavors, and Pickeroons is pumping out shit and mixed results. But a few years ago I had there was like one blend of one batch of that Pivot Imperial IPA that was made as a Christmas tree IPA and was made with spruce tips, much like this one was. So I suspect that this is the same beer, but they've actually released this as a real spruce IPA. But I would say that maybe it's spoilers for today's results, but I did really like that because it even with their kind of malty backbone, the spruce and pine overtones really were really fucking good.
Are there other
beers?
More
on that later.
Are there other pine trees that work? Like spruce tips, I've heard several times, but like there's fir trees.
Yeah, you can use them. You can use all kinds.
Imagine.
I've never heard of any other one being used for whatever reason. But
spruce is probably. I think spruce is the best one though. Like this, like Raybeard say. Excuse me. That seems to be the one you always hear about. Like spruce beer is the traditional recipe that you see. Oh, we found this recipe from the 1750s and where they brewed spruce beer.
Remember how fucking delicious the Garrison spruce beer was? That was like awesome.
They still make it.
Like big ass spruce and molasses, basically.
Yeah,
it was just so good.
They still make it. It's just really hard to get now, unless like it's not
like brewery only. I'm assuming.
Pretty much, yeah. They don't dump it.
I wish they'd send that out because I would fucking buy it.
Whatever that beer was that Guy brought to cheat in a non-alcoholic beer analysis.
Oh yeah,
there's a can of some spruce beer that like that was the first time he broke his own review scale and gave it like an 11 out of 10 or something like that. This is his favorite beer ever.
Yeah, he
breaking all kinds of.
This would probably be good.
It made Lee very happy when he did that.
Oh yeah, I was really happy with it. Yeah.
Distillery Fistois up in northern New Brunswick also makes a spruce it's in a corked and caged bottle, but it's actually a spruce beer. It's like a Belgian themed spruce beer, which is pretty fucking tasty.
I just never seen like
still have it.
A fir beer or a fucking.
I think I've seen like pine and stuff like that before.
Are redwoods pines?
Mm.
What kind of tree is a fucking redwood?
I don't think so. I don't think they're in the Well, I don't know if they're
Oh, hello, Google. Please help me. Okay, Google. Is a redwood tree a pine tree or a not pine tree? Deciduous or conifer would
According
make
to
more
NASA
sense.
Earth Observatory, redwoods are coniferous trees and are known as the tallest trees in the world.
So, coniferous is not? Okay, Google. Coniferous versus deciduous trees.
According to Tree Canada, conifers are often called evergreens or needle-leaved trees.
There we go.
Conifers are
deciduous
Okay.
leaves.
Red.
There you go.
All right.
For some reason, I thought
So
they were pine trees. Oh, no.
See,
Is there-
people thought-
anyway, yeah, this is the one from Vistawa that comes in a corked and caged bottle. Strong spruce beer, 7%. It's pretty tasty.
Mm.
It's not. It doesn't seem to be in season right now. You can get up in northern New Brunswick still. Like Caracat, 33. Caracat's a nice place. So
Okay. I was thinking that there are very tall pine trees called ponderosa pines,
Ponderosa pine.
but they're not.
Ponderosa used
Yeah,
to be
so-
a steak restaurant.
I didn't. Learning things. Yay.
All right.
We're all here to
So
learn.
yeah, we've already. I'm assuming he's already noticed that we've read his comment, but yeah,
Yeah.
Brandon was saying, "Ooh, that looks good to you."
Why aren't you on the show, Brandon?
He's on call this week.
Fuck you, Brandon.
Brandon's not being very fast.
He could have Brandon. Now that you know, pre-record yourself next time.
And have you seen how he works with technology, though, bro?
He wasn't that bad.
Yeah, let's not.
No, he even for an IT guy, he's pretty bad, and we know how bad the IT guys around here are when it comes to technology.
How about the fact that just like we're only saying bring one beer, so even if you're on call, like what are you gonna bring? Like a 95% beer or something?
Brandon says I could go on, but I'm really tired and lazy. Oh well, okay.
That's a fair excuse. It's better than that.
So that's what you do all afternoon when you go down to the stock room to do inventory or sleeping in the stock room.
He still has a couple drinks, but nothing Christmassy.
Nah, he's furiously jacking it in the inventory room.
Maybe. This is some jackable content we're creating right now. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, if Brandon had come on,
all your erotic fantasies can be fulfilled.
Jesus Christ! Fuck's sakes.
But here's what I have to say to Brandon.
Here's a random question. How many things do you have ready to go at any one given time?
I've got like 36 up right now, kind of. And like I've got like you get like 36 or something on a board, and I've got 9 different boards I can select from I could literally have a couple hundred on here.
God.
Wow. But here's what I have to say to Brandon not showing up, and anyone else who didn't show up tonight.
Damn.
You know what? I like that one. That one needs to be used like with good timing when somebody says something stupid or some shit like that.
And here's for us on the show right now, us good boys.
That's great.
Oh, look, Brandon's drinking while on call.
Oh.
You know this on the internet live right now, and your picture is your picture, your face.
That's okay. If anyone from your company says anything, say the second you start paying me for being on call, then I'll stop drinking. Otherwise,
what am I going to do? Am I going to rat on Brandon? Brandon will turn around and rat on me. So I'm like, no.
I'm just saying, like, some things are just,
you guys are going to turn into like Trudeau and Freeland, just pretending to be friends, but really not really.
That was
Greg, I think you need to step down.
At the end was weird.
That was about as perfect timing as you could have gotten. Like,
I like the sound effect, but the booing at the end was kind of weird. I edited
that one.
He was booing me for getting political.
No, I forgot I edited that one. I thought it was just the Price is Right thing, but apparently I fucked that up. I have to go fix that.
I used that sound effect one time in a beer review I did, where I'm pretty sure I was like hoping for a big like explosive cork, and it went like, And
No, you used the sound effect. You used the sound effect like almost every time you did a beer review because you did like the teleport thing where it's like, and then
you did like that.
Yeah, but I never
used
used that sound effect. The Price is Right sound effect is what I'm saying. That specific one. Yeah, that's what I mean. I remember the one time I did like almost like a Star Trek one, where I was like wasn't there, and then I just like took the two file and overlapped them and made myself like fade into existence.
The fact I knew that he did sound effects and reviews proves I've watched at least a couple more of his reviews than Dan's.
There you go.
Man, I used to back when I like fuck my old job so much.
He does wrestling reviews.
But to be honest, I do miss that apartment. It was pretty, but just having the exposed beams and stuff and the weird shit I was kind of able to like. I did so many stupid intros to my beer reviews while I was in that one area. It was
a neat spot.
I got exposed beams.
Yeah, Nick was there.
See, my exposed beam has the certificate for Dan.
Oh.
See, exposed beams. Plus my crazy serial killer of
I don't know if I call that an
display
exposed
of Lady
beam.
Lee's face.
That's an exposed pillar.
Oh, okay. Well, pardon me. Well, I don't know. Is that you can't see it from this side, but it's not really exposed. Oh, there's the beam. Does that count?
Sort of up the top here.
Can you grab onto it?
No, I can't do it.
I can grab
okay,
onto
so I would say that one's partially exposed. I'd say then, like the ones in my apartment were like my boss wanted to put a drop ceiling in, and like fucking why? Like anywhere in my apartment I wanted to, I could basically jump up and do like a chin up or something. I like fucking did or hang stuff from the beams and have more storage kind of stuff. But so my kayak was suspended over my bed.
I'm just imagining Carrie hanging all his enemies within that apartment.
So once again, we've gone from 7 viewers down to 3 viewers since.
Why people don't like us talking about the North Bay Gallows?
When I do my live
North Bay Gallows,
I did.
This is where they
I did mention several times during my live stream tonight, where I again I don't know where it's coming from, but I'm getting more viewers than usual, and I mentioned several times like this live stream's going till like just after 8 o'clock because I'll be on Maxwell Star's YouTube channel doing beer analysis. So I don't know if anybody that is popping in from me, but if I am.
I remember the weirdest thing was when we were having a hangout, and this may have even been BDU back in the day, like way back in the day, was just some random girl shows up in our chat and has no clue where she is. We're like, how the fuck did you get that?
Yeah.
she had no clue why she was.
I remember that. I remember that what? Kim Loves Modest Mouse or some girl. Remember that?
I remember her, yeah.
Well, there's awkward Victoria for a while, but I think Nick scared her off.
No, I think we scared her off.
Well, no, she was only ever on she was on one of our chats for a bit, at one point, but yeah, I haven't even talked or seen. I don't
think she's under awkward Victoria on Steam anymore. I think I still got her.
Randomly, she was streaming on TikTok. Last time I saw her.
Yeah, you can do that.
So I didn't even realize you could. And it was such a weird
well, you can for now anyway.
Well, it's weird not doing anything about it. But in the States,
yeah, but
even still the possibility that they want to get rid of it, whatever shit.
In fact, if it gets shut down in the States, you're gonna see a lot of people moving over the YouTube shorts real quick.
Yep, fair enough. Although you can make long form TikToks, I guess, like again streaming and stuff. But like I haven't. One of my coworkers a couple months ago sent me a link that was TikTok, and I'm like, yeah, fuck, whatever. I installed TikTok, watched that. It was some stupid. I'm like, I just installed that for the first time ever. I might kill myself now. Like it's just the dumbest fucking. Like I have no interest in that.
It's platform. For the skibbity generation. It's just the low attention span, fucking skibbity toilet kids who cannot interact with people in real life. Do not know how to have no social graces. I know I sound like old man yelling at a cloud right now, but I mean it's demonstrably true.
It's a stupid, dumb platform, and it's got so many I'm in the subreddit r milk, just people talking about their love for milk. I love milk. It's a funny chat, and I'm also there for the people that post their pro raw milk shit in there.
Oh my god!
And then just get torn apart. And it sounds kind of like something like that. Like it's just like holy fucking like this the last post I can think of. Some lady was going to her neighborhood, giving out homemade flyers with the fucking biggest hilarious grammatical mistakes you've ever seen, and be like, "Me and my sister are selling raw milk," and blah blah. You may have noticed my husband walking around and my kids, and it's because we're on raw milk, and it's changing our lives. Okay.
Yeah, it's making you weird as fuck.
Like it's like RFK, the new U.S. health guy, is a big proponent of that. So yay!
God. Yeah, it's only like Louis Pasteur made this major discovery on how to pasteurize things. Like we call it pasteurization because of Louis Pasteur, and they stop people from getting sick all the times because he was actually doing some kind of scientific treatment of heating it up through this whole process of killing all the germs in it. That was done first on raw fucking milk. So
I did not know pasteurization was named after this guy.
I'm just saying there's a reason that people would fucking pasteurize milk. Think about it.
Yeah.
I love that Nick just had this info fucking cocked and loaded and ready to go. Good for dude, that was impressive. I'm impressed by that.
RFK is a legit nutcase.
Oh,
yeah, but when he went on Roseanne Barr, I guess is still a thing, and he was on her podcast or some shit talking about the story of finding a bear that he wanted to eat, but he didn't have time. They took it to Central Park and tried to stage it and look like somebody with a bike hit the bear.
He's got a lot of weird stories with animal carcasses and shit he finds. Like
the guy's insane, and he has brain worms.
Yeah.
No wonder because he probably ate raw fucking pork at one point in time. Got infected.
One point in time, he's literally saying all the time how he's eating raw meat.
Yeah, so. Like if
like bear. I'm talking about that. Like I'm pretty sure if you are someone who wants to eat bear or almost any carnivorous animal, you need to cook the fuck
bears
out of
especially.
That meat.
They eat a lot of
so
shit.
many parasites. Yeah.
I wanted to go back to the long dark game I'm playing right now. Like if you eat anything, if you kill a bear or a wolf and harvest the meat and eat it, you get parasite risk.
Well, people used to eat raw meat and fucking raw milk and all that shit all the time. Yeah, people also only lived to 45 years.
Well, yeah, like caveman, I'm pretty sure had some pretty impressive immune systems, to be honest. But at the same time,
I mean, part of it. But again, they also didn't live that long. Women were basically expected to have children by 12 and die by age 14, having their third child. So it's humanity
is another bride.
Do we know? Do we have a rough that with Ozai, the fucking Iceman caveman, that the most famous, best preserved dead caveman we found? Do they know how old? Like I said, what you said, back in the day, living to say 40 was probably
living to 20 was a big deal.
I was just living to 40, but it would have been like living to 100 or something, probably.
Alexander the Great, I think, died before he was 30, wouldn't he? Or how old was he?
Yeah, but he died because he got wounded by something and died. So.
I thought he was poisoned
or wounded. They spent poisoning.
I would say being poisoned is equal to being wounded.
I guess, but I mean, most of his history is so shrouded in mythology and stuff at the same time that it's it's very hard to.
3,000 years ago, I think, at this point, wasn't he?
Yeah, so it's it's
323.
How cool that would be. Random thought. What was the Star Trek Next Generation movie where they were in the mountain, but concealed by the holodeck shit. I think so, yeah, and
insurrection.
Being able to do that.
Yeah, insurrection.
Have if time travel technology ever does exist, being able to and have some kind of crisis style invisibility suit, go back in time, and record and get the actual historical record of shit. Can you imagine how nuts that would be? That'd be fucking neat. Just random thought.
Alexander developed a fever in which he was unable to speak. So yeah, it's like debated how he died. But I imagine like
okay,
dude,
the unpasteurized best vanilla ice.
He had raw milk ice cream, and it was the best he'd ever had. And like, got that Cuban brain worm going on.
I feel like that wouldn't have anything to do with the pasteurization. That's just whatever they use to make the vanilla flavoring taste good. You know what I mean? Like,
a lot of traditional Italian cheeses are made with raw milk too, and that's why you don't find the cheeses as good as Europe over here.
Well, listen, there's a lot of things you can do. Like here's the thing. You can eat raw chicken, and it may not necessarily harm you. The fact is that raw chicken has a very high chance of having stuff that'll fuck you up.
Very volatile, yeah. But I mean, look, you have a medium rare steak. The outside seared and the red side is not.
Back when I used to work at a certain restaurant here in North Bay, you may have heard of it, called the Moose.
The Moose.
What?
I'm in the kitchen, and some random person, busy Friday night or something like that, some random person, the server comes back and she gives us a piece of paper. And it's like apparently some certificate saying this person is allowed to eat raw chicken. And all of us collectively like, we don't give a shit. We're not doing that. And
we don't have to serve it to them.
Like what? Eating, I guess fish is the least dangerous thing overall, I think. But even that, like a buddy of mine at work one day.
Anything can fuck you up if it's not good.
A buddy of mine at work had some raw tuna that he was like eating, like dipping in sushi and kind of stuff. And I'd never had it. Offered me a piece. Okay. It didn't taste bad, but the texture. I prefer the texture of cooked fish. I don't know. I wasn't a fan.
Sushi.
I don't know.
Sushi's.
I mean, it's basically just sushi.
Well, I went to a sushi bar for my one only time with Greg.
Gressel?
When I went there, and I tried. I didn't try that much, to be honest. But I tried some stuff. It was trying to, but like, yeah, I'm that just isn't for me. I feel like kind of thing. Like I don't know, like it was an interesting experience overall.
I feel much like a lot of things. A lot of people aren't born liking things. I mean, if you want to develop a flavor for it, you have to work at it. If you don't want to, that's fine. But
we all hated IPAs at first, right?
Sushi, I don't have.
Well, I was gonna say,
I hated IPAs until randomly doing my everyday thing, and I tried that Octopus Wants to Fight. Suddenly, I love IPAs. But
I love them from the get-go.
Sushi.
Well, some people do.
Sushi isn't something I.
Well, I mean,
I want to work.
Three of us here like smoky Scotch, and you probably weren't born liking smoky Scotch, but you develop the
what? I feel like I don't know if I've tried smoky Scotch, but that sounds like I generally hard liquor across the board. I drink it, and all I really get is like that burning turpentine flavor. I'm just not. I like.
I know this is probably going to backfire on me, but next time I see Carrie, I'm going to buy a bottle of like Ardbeg or Lafroig and have him try it, and we'll see what he thinks of it.
I'm down to try anything. Like I would love to find a Scotch that I
feel like Ardbeg 10 is probably too much at once. Like if you want to really get him into smoky stuff.
I don't really feel Ardbeg 10's any worse than Lafroig, to be honest.
I mean, if you want to go softer, you go either like Lafroig 10 or you go like
no.
Talisker.
I don't want to go softer.
Talisker would be milder.
If you want to, if you don't want to go soft, well, just go like Ardbeg Ugadal or fucking.
That'd be fun, Greg. It's been a while.
You're not spending that much on them, yeah.
It's been a while since Greg and I did any kind of fun. Like I went the first time Greg and I met. We did that. Fucking
your finger in his mouth.
The night of that was the night of Bring Out Your Dead. We had fucking like 4 of them. It was fucking,
you definitely brought out the dead after that. When you were
the next
smashed.
time was the fucking Double Tempest night, which was almost equally as insane. And then, unfortunately, last time I went there, my sleep schedule was like I didn't have as much fun as I wanted to. It just
really?
You might have known, but yeah, I don't know. I
heard.
I would love to go there and just to have like that live stream or something. Some random Greg giving me different scotches and trying them, and that'd be cool.
Whoa! You know how expensive these damn scotches
No, dude, I'm not saying.
Try like 6 or 7 scotches, Greg. You go.
Yeah, I will throw.
Make sure you buy that Johnny Walker Blue.
I will throw out there. Both previous times, you bring out your deads and Double Tempest, and lodgings were provided by Greg and his fantastic wife for free. I would totally be willing to like fucking, give you $100 or something, to be like to offset a bit of cost or something. I don't know, but
oh look at this sweet boy, this sweet baby who thinks he can buy a bottle of scotch for $20.
I know. I'm saying to have like a taste of a couple different fancy scotches. That's what I'm thinking. Like I went to a whiskey bar in St. John with Nick and Guy.
Oh yeah, the hopscotch.
And you go the same one you took me to.
Yeah, we went there a couple days before you. You took you.
Yeah, and some of those were fucking pricey for a taste.
Yeah,
but I feel like $100 would.
You got to consider what whiskeys you're getting. It was well worth it to try those.
Yeah,
and I'm not having like a drink of each one. I want just enough to taste it.
It's like $20 for 4 drams, which is pretty good considering what you were getting.
Yeah.
Let's keep this thing rolling here. I'm gonna go back around and let's finally actually talk about our beers that we have tonight because we just want to get back on topic. I'll read your comments here in a bit. Oh, by the way, cheers, Jimmy C.
Hey, Jimmy C, what's going on?
Review your beer, Richard.
Beer. You know what? It's tasty. There's no hint of 9%. It's not fully there, but it has Nanaimo bar characteristics going. I want to say that it's missing a bit of the, like, usually from what I've experienced, the bottom is kind of a graham cracker crust with some coconut in it. The middle is like a custard, the top's chocolate litter. Getting the chocolate, getting the custard, getting a bit of graham cracker, no coconut to be found for me. But overall, it doesn't. I almost feel like when I did my review of it, I was bitching about the artificialness of the flavors. I don't know if they changed it since the last one I had, but it tastes a little tiny chemical, kind of like this isn't the real stuff. You did something fake, but overall, I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm going to go 8.5 for the style and 8 for overall enjoyment. It's damn tasty.
8.5 and 8. All right.
And again, I don't know what the price was, but I feel like it was probably a good deal. But this is a fucking huge 500.
Yeah, usually Muskoka prices are fairly reasonable.
Like not as reasonable as this brewery, but still.
No, I mean, their prices are good. I would argue their quality is not as good as that brewery, but their prices are usually fairly competitive.
I'll give you that. Anyway, there we go.
Thank you, Beard. Let's go over to Lee.
All right. So the first beer, the all lit up festive strong ale from Garrison at 7%. Can't detect the 7% at all. The warming comes from the spice more than anything else. It says just generic spices in here, so like I assume maybe there's a little bit of cinnamon or something else going on in here. Like the Deramera sugar, that is definitely in there. That's always been like a constant ingredient in any iteration of this beer. They've got laurel leaves in it this year, which I had to check and see like what the fuck. So laurel leaves are a form of bay leaves that
don't rest on your laurels.
That essentially tastes like cloves. They essentially taste like cloves. So like basically they're just using that as a clove substitute in this beer, I guess, from like previous editions, and it works. Pretty much tastes pretty much spot on. Big thing I'm getting out of this, of course, is the sugar and the raisins apparently that they put in the mash this year as well, which is I think a new thing that they didn't do beforehand, but it seems to mix with the sugar pretty well. So it does give it like a good, like super low alcohol Belgian quad kind of feel to it almost in some ways. Not quite on the edge of like a wine characteristics like a Belgian quad will have, like a fortified wine, but getting close to that. It's more on, but it's I don't know. Is this a thing with you guys you've experienced where like you get like Christmas wreaths that like smell like extra Christmassy, like they kind of they don't just smell like pine wreaths. They got like someone's put some extra shit in there, like some sort of spice or some sort of perfumey something in it. Sprucey, whatever. But
I mean, I think we've had like Christmas, like my mom likes those Christmas centerpieces. I think they've had like cinnamon or nutmeg or some shit like that.
Yeah. So like the aroma and the overall taste has got that characteristic of it. Like it does kind of scream Christmas and winter, like to a degree that I don't remember this beer doing that for several years. So I got to give credit there. It works as a winter warmer, but not one that hits you with the alcohol, just hits you with the spices instead, which I think is a better winter warmer, honestly. So like style wise, I'm going to throw an 8.5 at it. I think it's pretty strong. And my overall enjoyment of it, I think I'm going to throw an 8 because it's drinking pretty good. And yeah, it's just, it's nice. It kind of reminds me of earlier years and iterations of this beer. So that's a good thing. Now, as far as the vanilla porter from Nine Locks, a little less interesting. It's a very one-note thing. It's a basic bitch like, hey, this is a porter with vanilla in it. And lots of vanilla. I think the biggest strength of this thing is that it's like the Mill Street vanilla porter, but it's not had the nitrogen process done to it. So it doesn't cut the fucking flavor off at the nuts like that beer does. So, of course, this lacks the body that beer has, where that beer has like more of a sense of like thickness to it. This is much lighter in body. The porter is base to this is so basic bitch that you could barely call it a porter, honestly. Like it's not like super like chocolatey or caramel or anything like that. Like you don't really get those notes. It's very much just a delivery system for the vanilla. But the best thing is that the vanilla is really good. It drinks really well. And it's got a strong enough vanilla taste where it's not overbearing. It's just like really, really good. So, I mean, it works in that regard really well. Other than that, there's not much going on with it. So it's not super exciting. It's not like a big dessert stout that like, or a dessert porter or dessert beer of any sort that like, Dan would be crazy for or anything like that. Like, there's no lactose in this or anything bullshit like that. So I'd have to say like a 7 for style. And honestly, this year I don't find it's as tasty as it used to be. It's still pretty good. I'm not super excited about it. I have to throw 6.5 for my personal preference.
Ooh.
But that right. That is that, and I just want to let everyone know out there. Just a quick warning.
You see Santa Claus tonight. You better run, boy. You better run for your life.
Well, pines, but not pines. I'm assuming that was a comment for something. Anyway,
probably redwood or something like that.
Maybe. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to Greg and see how that banana beer is. Banana Bourbon County is.
Banana Foster beer. So here's the funny thing. I'm a man that generally believes all beer should come out of the fridge. I don't believe in this bullshit of just throwing it in your basement or something, drinking it at room temperature because it gives you more flavor. No, you bring it out of your fridge, you drink it slowly. You don't need to chug this damn stout. It's a big stout. You don't need to chug it. You slowly enjoy it, and then you see how it changes. Now, unfortunately, stupid me broke my own rule because I took it out of the fridge earlier today, mainly because I think I was reorganizing our fridge or something. And then I just left it in my cold cellar, which happens to still be cold, but it's not fridge cold. So this beer started out a little bit warmer than I'd like to start a beer out. So I actually threw the second half of this into the freezer while you guys have been yapping about, salmonella and all those other wonderful things that killed Alexander the Great. So now I'm drinking the colder portion. Weirdly enough, I was drinking the warmer portion before, and now the colder portion. Now, what do I say? I know a lot of people say Bourbon County is kind of overrated. It's kind of Stout 101. It's basically how a stout is, but it's kind of boring. I disagree with that. I think the base one is excellent. I think it's still among the best bourbon barrel aged stouts you can get. It doesn't matter whether it's made by a big company. I still think it's an excellent stout, and I think there's very few stouts I've personally had that can compare. I think if I was Joe and I could have like 18 million different stouts every week.
Isn't that beer basically like Goose Island? Their IPA, their other beers are just super mass produced. But their Bourbon County stuff, that's like a whole, basically, I feel like separate division of people that actually care.
Yeah, I think right. I mean, it's pretty mass produced by bourbon barrel aged standards. I mean, it's not small batch by any means, but I think it is still, there's a little bit more care taken.
Though. Yeah, exactly.
I think because it's kind of like their kind of flagship beer. I think it's a beer that kind of makes beer nerds still like them, so that they'll buy their IPA.
Well, I think Bourbon County release day. I've seen fucking pictures of lineups and stuff. I'm not sure if this is the same it is now.
Yeah, but I don't think it's the same anymore. But typically, it's Black
from
Friday.
Around the country to go there and get those beers. But now the distribution's a lot more. So
yeah, I don't think now they're shelf turds, to be fair, but they are still. That's the thing is just because
they can be shelf turds here. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be fucking awesome because you literally, I various beer groups I follow on Reddit and stuff like that. It's like, oh, Bourbon County. Even Marcin will fucking send me pictures. Oh, hey, I went to. Well, he's not near a Myers anymore, but he'll go to a fucking Kroger's, whatever the fuck they have there. He's like, oh, here's a whack load of Bourbon Counties. I'm just gonna buy myself a bunch. I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch. But anyways, I think their beer is excellent. I haven't tried this year's, or I guess technically last year's regular one, but the regular one is always fantastic. And I gotta say, this one absolutely does not disappoint. Now, I've never had a true banana Foster's. I think I've had some sort of banana desserts. I probably at some point in my life had a banana split. I'm sure I probably had a chocolate covered banana or something. Not really my preference. I'm more of a fresh, as soon as it's ripe, I want to eat it banana person. I'm not a big banana for dessert person. Although I will say banana and peanut butter, excellent combination. So I'm sort of a bit imagining what I imagine this dessert to taste like. And I will say, I think based on what I think it should taste like, I think they nailed it because there is now I will say, you notice it. So the cold version, not a whack load of banana or chocolate to it. It's more of a standard, really nice, really refined bourbon barrel aged stout. And that's what I look for in a bourbon barrel aged stout is nice and smooth, good body on it. Most bourbon barrel aged stouts, I would argue, don't have a good body because you kind of get rid of that body when you age it. So usually that's a sign of a brewery that actually knows you have to make a stout that's probably undrinkable and then put it into barrels, and then it becomes an amazing stout versus a lot of breweries that'll just take a fucking regular stout, put it in barrels. And yeah, it's still good when you're done with it.
I never
a lot of that's why Double Tempest is generally quite good because they brew it. And to my knowledge, they've never released it. Well, actually, Carrie, perfect example. Bring Out Your Dead. The It's Not Dead. You've tried that, haven't you?
I'm not dead yet. I've tried.
I'm not dead yet. Did you like it?
I didn't hate it, but it was weird.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah, it was like flat or something, wasn't it?
No, it was.
We had it. Of course, it was just piss up.
Yeah, it's been several years, but I remember it being grossly sweet, and it was really weird and thick and sweet. It was like drinking syrup. And it's okay, but that's the kind of beer you kind of need to throw into barrels to actually make it a thing. Now, I'm gonna say I'm not the biggest fan of Bring Out Your Dead for the last, and it has nothing to do with the bad bottles I had. It just has to do with I've had it several times since then. I find it way too sweet nowadays. They don't really tame it, but that's just my thing. But again, I thought the It's Not Dead was awful. Not that I think Bring Her Dead is that great anymore either, but it's certainly much better than the base thing. I would love to try Double Tempest, the base stout, but I don't know if that'll ever happen. But anyways, like, even compared to a regular, so, you get a regular 10% stout, 11% stout, not barrel aged, it's usually a little rough. And that's just part of the nature of it is like, it's kind of almost like a Lafroig of the beer world. Like it is a little rough. It is, it's tasty as fuck. It's got your charcoal, it's got your tobacco, maybe a little chocolate, but it's like, it's a rough beer. It's probably not something that somebody's going to like unless you've developed a little bit of a taste for it. Whereas then you get into your bourbon barrel aged stouts, and they are a good one, in my opinion, is still retains a nice body. It's smooth. It's got chocolate, got stouty flavors, which I don't care to further thing. I think Nick is on his phone.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was a picture of my beer to the chat. Anyway,
you got to go away from your speaker, Nick. You got to go all the way over here if your speaker's here, because it's probably your speaker that's causing the distortion. So anyway. This beer, absolutely fucking perfect. There's nothing in terms of its smoothness, flavor delivery, body. I can't fault anything on it. It just does it so well. Like I would actually argue if I had this side by side, this is actually better than Double Tempest. Because they just kind of make it on that next level that Double Tempest is kind of, especially the last few years of Double Tempest is not quite, has a little bit of roughness. Now, to be fair, this is aged a year. Double Tempest vastly improves when it's been aged a year or two. So I have to take that into account because my mind is somehow thinking this is a fresh bottle. It's not really a fresh bottle.
So wait, Greg, you saying that beer's
that's a whole novel level.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Now, if I were to fault this, so I mean, for style, it's a 10 out of 10 easy. This is a stout that every other bourbon barrel aged stout, specifically bourbon barrel aged stouts, this is one that every other one should be judged against, whether you like Bourbon County or you like Goose Island or not. This is literally the bar that everything should be judged against, and that even includes Double Tempest, which is my personal favorite. But this is, in terms of my opinion, for the style, this is actually better because it just smoother to just like Double Tempest is like a 98 out of 100. This is 100 out of 100. Now, subjectively, I also say once this warms up, you definitely pick up more banana. You pick up more chocolate. Bella just came down with a harness with a light on it, but I guess my wife is walking them. It is a little on the sweet side. It is definitely a dessert beer. I don't recall regular Bourbon County being quite this sweet. Again, it's been 2 years since I've had it, so my memory could be foggy. This is very sweet. Now, again, they say it's a Banana Foster. I'm not going to fault it on that per se, but I will say for my own personal enjoyment, I would tone down the sweetness on this just a tad. It's not grossly sweet like some beers can be, but it is more than I would prefer. Now, Dan, like he would have this hooked to his veins. Like he'd get an IV drip.
Did you have the Prodromus by Omnipolo? The graham cracker chocolate chunk, fucking weird. And
so you know what? It does sound somewhat familiar. Hi.
That's probably the sweetest beer I ever had. And it was amazing, but like one of those, you have one of them and you're done. I'm kind of wondering if like yours could possibly be sweeter than that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you, Carrie. Hold on, I just popped open a window. I think I've had it. I would have to go through and actually look up what I thought of it. I don't actually have any recollection of it. But there's a lot of sweet beers out there. There's a lot of really sweet beers out there, and I mean, I know there are people like Dan who just love them. They love their desserts. I'm not generally a dessert person in general, so sweet to me is not a flavor I love, especially when it's like I like cloyingly sweet. This one's on the verge for me. Like it's like, and this is a 500 milliliter bottle. The first half, I was like, okay, this is not bad. The second half, I'm kind of like, okay, this is getting a little sweet for me. I'm still okay with this size bottle. I would not want it in a bigger bottle, and I would not want 2 of these in a row. So, and that's probably good because 2 of these would probably annihilate me. So my own personal enjoyment is going to be a 9, simply because it's excellent. I'm knocking it down a point because I personally don't wish it to be this sweet. But if you like sweet beers, in my opinion, this beer would be a fucking 10 or 11 for you. This would be like a Gee scale 11 out of 20 or 11 out of 21, whatever the fuck he rates. I don't know how the fuck French work. Okay. They're weird people. Let's just
very
admit
weird
this.
people.
But for me personally, and I mean, I have the feeling when I do crack open, and it's not gonna be tonight, but when I do crack open the regular Bourbon County, that's generally a 10 out of 10 for me on both accounts. And that's really the only thing holding this beer back for me is that, and that's why I'd like to try this fresh, because I have the feeling like an actual new bottle might actually be too sweet, and I might actually rate it lower because usually these adjunct flavors will go away after a year.
Yep.
This one hasn't. Like this one is there. So if you're like, I want a Banana Foster beer, this probably is the beer for you. But for me, a little too sweet. Still fantastic. I'm really nitpicking on it, and honestly, if you can try it, I recommend you try it because it is good. Nice. In case I haven't made my point clear. So, cheers, motherfuckers.
Cheers. I just wanted to share this because it was kind of relevant to the conversation. This is like a tour from somebody's YouTube video a few years ago of the Goose Island facility. So I knew it was like it's mass produced, but it's a massive facility of beer. That's
I mean that's still
barrels.
Well, think how much Bourbon County is out there. Like, I mean, of course it's got to be, and you got to remember they blend this shit too, right? So these aren't single barrel releases. So I mean, like that doesn't surprise me whatsoever. But again, that the beer still has kind of the beer nerds on its side, even though I know a lot of people, the Kumars of this world, or whatever the fuck that dude's name
was.
Kumal, whatever.
Yeah, we're talking about you fat fuck.
People like him, I'm sure, are probably like, oh, this beer is not exclusive enough for me. I'll only drink beers that I have to wait 3 weeks in line and get my mother and sister to line up with me, and and then we all have to like take shits in barrels just so we can stay there the whole time.
That underwear that Dan has, the liquid death,
the leather thong, yeah. I mean, let's
fucks like Kamal would like sell his fucking big toe for it, and the good thing is he's probably going to lose his big toe in a couple years anyway.
You're kind of assuming he still has it. Let's not make these assumptions, Lee. But at the end of the day, you know what? Again, we live in a gatekeeping culture where people love stuff because other people can't get it. At the end of the day, I mean, okay, this may not be cool because most people can get it if they want to nowadays. If you're able to go to the States, you can get this, no problem. You can get many more than I can in Ontario, but it's still a fantastic stout, and that's what it is. And there's a lot of fancy stouts and rare stouts that are a lot more expensive than this that I bought in the U.S. that aren't as good as this. So, I
mean, you get a lot of fucking idiots now pretending like that tastes like fucking Schliemann genuine draft all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, no. This is actually just like a Sapporo Black at this point.
Yeah, of course. Sapporo.
Goose Island's owned by InBev, so it's going to be automatically watered down that shit, even though it's amazing.
Oh shit! It's a Budweiser.
Yeah, Sapporo, Nicholas, you look so lovely.
They turned this barrel-aged beer into Heineken, but Hoegaarden.
I mean, yeah. It looks. Cool. You know what? I wish my Hoegaarden didn't have so many chunks in it.
Yeah,
wish we could still get Hoegaarden.
Hoegaarden Black, the black white beer.
All right, cool, awesome, Greg.
Cool. Cheers, motherfucker.
Cuvee? Oh, I forgot the chalet sauce.
No, there's not. Oh, I don't have any chalet sauce. I'm sorry, Nick.
I do, but I'm not going upstairs to get it.
Lady Lee's drank it all last time she was there.
Yeah, Lady Lee's not here anyway, so we can't really tease her with it. So why is this thing out of focus? Stupid camera.
And you wonder why she's not here.
I don't. All right. She has a life now.
Oh, well,
she's a wife now. So, Picaroons. Hello, my name is Spruce. Christmas Tree. Imperial IPA. I'm pretty sure this is the same thing that they released several years ago. It was good then. It's really good now. Again, like I mentioned, I'm not really a huge fan of Picaroons IPAs. They tend to skew more towards like the traditional British IPAs, which is fine, but they're usually big and biscuity and diacetyl notes and generally pine forward. And I don't often find that that's a flavor combination that works. But when you start throwing like massive amounts of spruce tips into it, it's fucking delicious. In this case, it's like a big pine note. Biscuity molasses cookie. Like I mentioned, traditional British kind of ish, but a heavier. It's with a potent Christmas tree amount of spruce, bordering almost on car air freshener, but definitely more natural, and it's definitely not cloying. It's actually like a really delicious, full-bodied beer, and smooth, and leaves a nice lingering pine resin note with that hint in the spruce in the aftertaste. I've been struggling through this entire episode to leave just a little bit at the end at my bottom of my glass to give my final thoughts like this. Camera. So,
should have bought multiple bottles, man.
Yeah, I know. I might have to go back and get more. Yeah, I've got another can of like Hujon Holiday sitting right here, which is also another approach to the same kind of idea. And I'm kind of thinking, like, which one's the better approach? I like the big malty spruce beer. Again, like I mentioned, I like Garrison spruce beer, and I wish we could still get that here. So I'm still going to think about this as a like Imperial IPA. I think this is the best one that Picaroons makes. It's an 8 for the style, 8.25 for overall enjoyment. I would definitely get more of this.
Nice.
All right, so let's poke around the comments here. I know that Brandon was talking earlier about the pasteurized milk shit. He says they don't pasteurize down there, but if I wanted ice cream, I had no choice. Ha ha ha! It was honestly the best ice cream you'd ever had.
Brandon, you always have a choice.
I had ice cream in Cuba. I wasn't aware it wasn't unpasteurized, but from what I remember, it was good.
That's what the brain worm is telling you, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. To be fair, yes, it's telling me that also.
Jimmy C says hello, all. We read that comment earlier, but we want to say Jimmy C, cheers.
Yep,
again.
Thanks for jumping in.
The worm. Maybe this is Jamie talking about RFK's brain worm.
I don't know.
The worm is somebody who's come here from my stuff.
Oh, and
Mr. Worm.
Didn't they redact their comment for some reason? I was thinking on YouTube there. I
don't see it on YouTube, but it's still here in.
They redacted it on YouTube for some reason. I don't know why.
Weird.
Anyway,
okay.
I know you're there, the worm.
Redbeard says, "Cheers to you." Bear says, "Those dogs look awesome." Is there some lab there? I think Bella's a lab, isn't she?
Yeah.
Black lab. And of course, Vincent
Free Luigi.
Free Luigi.
Hey, Luigi.
Luigi.
Oh, the worm was watching. He was watching 20 Mario. The worm was like rewound on the thing. He wasn't watching live. He was like 20 minutes behind us or something.
Oh, yeah. So we still kind of understood what you meant, but cheers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All the cheers.
All right, I'm finally going to go crack open my second beer of the night, even though Greg has already drank the equivalent of 6 beers.
Why are you complaining about it?
I'm not.
Well, it sounds like you are.
I'm complaining. I'm only getting my second beer now.
I'm jealous of Greg's beer.
I mean, Brandon's on call. Have yourself a few more.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not on call this week. I'm on call on Christmas.
Yeah.
Brandon says I had a yellow lab, black lab, and a chocolate lab, and I've all the colors at once. He had a rainbow lab.
They're the best doggies.
Lab. At one point, they were my favorite breed of dog. Yeah, I had a good friend of mine had a golden lab.
When I gotta argue,
kids,
like when I was
like great dogs.
The best, like almost any breed of dog with the right owner and the dog having the right temperament can be the best dog ever. But overall,
it's funny how
I will agree.
It's funny how the second
awesome dogs have been labs. I can't really argue. Yeah,
it's funny how the second I leave to pee, everyone wants to talk about them. So this is Arnold. He has no lab in him. He's a good old bulldog. But then this one, Bella. That's Bella. There we go.
Arnold has no lab in him until later.
Until later on.
He gets the strap on.
Bella is a rescue, so we don't know. But yeah, she's definitely a lab something. She's probably not a pure lab, but she's
she was definitely born in a lab.
Wow.
What?
He's next.
She was born in a lab. No.
She's not.
I don't know where to go with that.
Well, his mother was probably a lab, right? So it was born in a lab.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Nick. Dead. Fucker. Fuck off.
All right.
Brandon says he owns a Boston Terrier, and it's his first small dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I sure believe in all breeds, how they're bred. Labs in general, naturally nurturing, caring breed. Labs are awesome.
Did you guys hear anything I said, or was I muted the whole time?
No, we heard you.
We heard you.
Okay, because I guess I muted myself when I moved the laptop because it was like I was muted.
Yeah, you suddenly went quiet when you got up and came back.
I think I muted it by accident. But I was like, oh, did you guys hear anything I was saying? Or were you guys just reacting to the dogs? I'm sorry, Nick. I haven't learned to be a mute yet.
Yeah, no. Labs love to play. They're into like being mauled and wrestled with and shit like that in general.
Or the lab, Wiley, our yellow lab growing up, was he get the zoomies.
Yep.
And like my dad had this garden in the yard that was like his pride and joy. And Wiley would go fucking tearing through it, and my dad would get so mad. Or like just even taking them out for a pee. In the you have to keep an eye on them. And this one day, I can't remember, the middle of winter, took him out for a pee and got distracted by something happening inside. Well, he gone for 2 days. Okay, Wiley's gone. Oh, okay. Like we lived next to the highway. We'd had a decent number of dogs die from car hits. Like it's kind of like I was almost accustomed to it at that point, as sad as that is. But like 2 days later, Wiley, I'm outside doing something. I hear a sound, look over. Wiley comes bounding into the yard with half of a rabbit in his mouth. He was off in the bush having the time of his life. Like, I don't know, fucking, maybe he made friends with some wolves. I don't fucking know. But like, it's so. Well, you guys must have seen that video earlier this year of someone's dog got lost, like some kind of husky breed, and they used a drone to find it, and it had befriended like 3 bears. And it was like just running along the trail, having a good time with these bears. Like I love interspecies.
They weren't bad news bears.
I was gonna say, were they like animal bears or just 3 husky men that got lost in the woods?
Oh, no, they were bears.
You're like Scott Myers.
I am fucking clipping that fucking sound clip for future. I love interspecies. He didn't quite go as far as I wanted him to, but I mean, you can leave it hanging there. I love interspecies.
I love when different species of animals become friends with each other.
Hey, listen, I think what Leah's trying to say is a little bestiality never hurt anybody.
Especially that red beard.
Except possibly the animal is tiny.
Yeah, especially for a guy that worked at the Moose. All right, so speaking of Redbeard, we're gonna go back to Redbeard here and ask him
Greg,
of all the beers here tonight.
Greg.
Just Greg. Okay,
Greg.
What's going on?
All the beers you heard here tonight, which would you rather have?
I'd rather have yours, Nick. Greg's was a close second, but the banana thing kind of doesn't entice me all that much. The spruce entices me much more. So
no.
All right, thank you, Lee. Greg can't vote for himself, so Greg.
I cannot vote for myself. Well, Carrie's I've had. Lee's sounds interesting. But the spruce, I'm a sucker for old school sprucey, piney beers. So unfortunately, Nick is going to get my vote.
All right. Okay, and that's going to move over to me to cast the tie vote. So, Greg.
Wow.
So did anyone? Okay, so we can't do.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna go get a run. I've had the Nanaimo bar. Lee's is a close second because I kind of want to try the new version of the Garrison, but I might even have that here, so I should go and look. I've had the Nanaimo Vanilla Porter. That one's pretty tasty. But yeah, let's just Greg.
So I guess since we're 2 and 2, I guess we're gonna have. Yeah, somebody in the comments are going to have to vote.
Brandon, if you're still watching the comments, is it either Greg's beer? Greg, is it my beer or the one that Greg has?
Would you rather an IPA? Would you rather an IPA or? I just find it funny because Brandon, I don't think is a big fan of either. So would you rather an IPA or a stout?
Brandon is agreeing with the whole dog things and stuff. Yeah, I got I delivered to the food delivery thing, and whenever I knock on the door and hear the sound of dogs barking, I'm like, yay. I'm gonna hopefully play with the dogs while they play with the till. And this one dog I knocked on, there was these 3 booming barks. I'm like, oh fuck. It's like are they friendly? Yeah, but they're 3 pit bulls. I'm like, take this, bring them on. And they were the most it's
people that don't like pit bulls just as a breed drive me fucking nuts. Because yes, our pit bulls, there is a degree of they were traditionally bred for fighting and in the wrong hands of the wrong owner, which unfortunately there's a lot of wrong owners owning pit bulls. They can be trouble. But no more so than any other dog. A fucking bulldog, a fucking English bulldog like Arnold can be a shit disturber.
They weren't
for fucking in the hands
bred.
of the wrong owner.
They were eventually bred. Like look at back, this is always my go-to. Look back at the original black and white Little Rascals show. Their dog that they had was a pit bull. It was a nanny dog. It was bred to be a nanny dog, and then pieces of shit took it and made it into a fight. It wasn't bred as a fighting dog. It was bred as a nanny dog, and pieces of shit made into a fighting dog, and that's what tainted the breed, and that's what where we are now.
So it's a Little Rascals, a historically accurate document of the breeding practices of dogs.
Not even, but I'm just saying I've looked into it before, and as far as I know, it was originally bred as a nanny dog. It was bred to look after kids and stuff, and then people that were pieces of shit realized, hey, this thing would be good at fighting, and let's start doing stupid stuff.
Well, it was all fun and games until that dog mutilated Alfalfa.
Wow, never happened. Never happened.
All right,
the number of if a pit bull's raised properly and is friendly, it's just like the first time I ever met Greg's dog.
Judge Judy's not here. You don't have to convince him.
What's
fine?
Greg knows name. With your German Shepherd,
Layla.
Layla.
Yeah, Layla. She still exists. She's not dead yet.
Yeah, no, but wasn't saying that. But the first time I ever met her,
all right,
she was growly and stuff.
Okay, so Brandon.
Okay,
I'm going to cut you off here, but I want to keep the thing rolling. Brandon's already. We've had it up for like 2 minutes now, but Brandon votes for Greg, so that means that Greg is our wiener tonight.
I'm the wiener.
We always knew he was a little bit of a wiener.
Greg is the champion.
I've always said I'm an average sized wiener. I'm not a small wiener, but I ain't no Nick wiener either.
Oh well.
Depends on what kind of wiener you're talking about. In some ways, I'd say you're a pretty huge wiener.
Wow, thank you.
I think you're a pretty big dick, but moderately sized wiener.
Wow, Nick, you just grabbed that low hanging fruit off the ground.
Nick took the way I was saying things and just took it to a different level, basically.
Brandon says sorry, Nick. Stop saying sorry all the time. Yeah,
I do for what it's worth. I do think somebody like Brandon, who's not really into, I don't want to say more advanced beer, but I'm going to say that just because as a catch-all term, who's somebody not into like the more difficult to enjoy styles. I think no, I don't even want to say that. I mean, because we all started somewhere, but Brandon is baby palate. But again, I think this is a more approachable beer than a lot of really bitter IPAs there are for some people. Like. Or some really stouty stouts.
Well, again, like a dessert stout is always going to be something that I feel like a lot of non-beer people could probably try and be like, okay, this, it tastes like liquid, whatever they're doing. Like this one, the can's gone. The number one.
Like that Nanaimo bar too is like a bit of dessert stout. You're talking about, well, I could only have one of these. I mean, you're only supposed to have one of those.
Yeah, pretty much. Makes sense.
Well, that's the same thing with mine. Is it's like there's something to be said about I'd like to have more than one of these, but it's some of these beers are just not meant to be had more than one.
The comment up right now, I've never had a pit bull, so I don't know how much work I have heard like they can want to chase after things pretty often, and like if that thing they're chasing after is a small dog, it could be bad. But I feel like, again, like if you have it for a puppy and you raise it and teach it to be social with other dogs and everything's like any breed, it's all on the owners if your dog's a piece of shit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not all Rottweilers can have a thing where their brain can basically outgrow their skull.
I've heard of that.
And drive them insane. So in that case, not the owner's fault, but like
in
almost every other case. But yeah,
the Rottweilers or Dobermans? Dobermans.
I don't know. I've known quite a few.
I'm pretty sure it's Rottweilers. I'm pretty sure I've heard.
I don't know. I've known quite a few awesome Rottweilers. So I'm not sure if that's true or not.
I thought it was Dobermans. Their heads are kind of small.
Also, but apparently it's a thing that can happen. I'm not sure if it's like a guaranteed thing, but it can happen. And I'm pretty sure Rottweiler is the breed. But
I'll tell you.
Any other breed, all I'm saying is like any other breed, even going from tiny dog like Chihuahua. All the like
Chihuahuas are the fucking worst.
They are. But again,
aunt wanted to breed them, and my aunt was going to breed them, and she stopped after the first litter because they were such aggressive little shits. She had them all fixed. She's like, I'm going to keep these dogs because I love them, but I'm never breeding them again because they're aggressive shits. I don't want them to breed.
On the flip side, though, like I have met doing the delivery job. The best one ever was when I delivered to a place, and they had a Great Dane and a Chihuahua, and they were both like the best. Like I've met some awesome Chihuahuas. It's like one of those things where again I feel like it's if you have it for a puppy, and do a good job of raising it and socializing it, and this and that, it's going to be like here's the thing. My cat Commodore, who passed away a while ago, he but diabetic. I'm sure I've told you what. I had him when I was working at the Moose. In case you didn't know, I worked at the Moose.
What?
And like people were always around, and Commodore was like just accustomed to people always being around, and like someone new would show up and sit on the couch, jump up on them and be like, "Hey, what's up?" Like the way my life currently is, Moo Cow's kind of okay with new people because she's a bit older and was a bit more around. For Gandalf, he's terrified. It will disappear if somebody new comes in the room, kind of thing. And that makes me sad. Like just socializing and fucking
Some cats are just skittish. Like I've got 3 of them living with us right now, and they all have various different personalities and how tolerant they are to new people.
This is true. At the same time, I feel like if Gandalf had from a kitten been around more people, he's basically been me. When he was a kitten, I got him after the Marcel Apocalypse, I think.
Oh, you said his name. Nice.
After that, like he was my only friend that used to come over kind of all the time, and he would have been the one that would have maybe changed Gandalf a bit in that regard. But like, no, like he knows me, and that's about it. Which, I'm sorry, Nick. I derailed things again. Keep going. I'm sorry.
So for what it's worth, I just looked up, and that whole Rottweiler thing is an urban legend. They actually don't outgrow their brain.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it is an urban legend, but it's not known. But listen, here's Bella.
I can't remember where I saw it or read it, but I feel like where I saw it or read it
you probably saw it on you probably saw it on Reddit.
No, this was years ago. I've only been using Reddit like with my daily scrolling thing.
How long have I been
mute? A couple of years now.
I don't know.
I think I muted myself to sneeze, and I'm getting kind of mad at Red here for keep talking. I'm gonna read the rest of the comments here.
Okay,
we're having good talk.
That's hilarious.
I do like all breeds. Ha ha ha. We'll try to get on the cam next time. Yeah, beers. I am a noob and have generally only stuck to our traditional styles. It's only been the last couple of years I've been experimenting, and he's been bugging me all about it at work. I've known a few people personally raised them from puppies and they're perfect pets all the time. But they do have a nature over other breeds that they don't get proper attention when they are riskier. Rottweiler as well. Imagine Doberman too. They can be good to raise properly from a puppy, but they have that nature. Probably because they were at some point bred as guard dogs or fighting dogs or something.
Next comment. I love it.
Or labs of a general nature bred and nature bred. High in fiber and
look at
12 grains.
The spelling of bread.
Yeah, we're Carrie. We're not triggered by it, but we're okay.
It makes me giggle. Remove the A brand.
I mean, that's why they said everyone fucking loves golden retrievers, right? They're like the basic bitch of dogs because they just literally everyone likes them, and that's Yeah. Funny enough, my first experience with a golden retriever was the dog was friendly, and it's actually not the dog's fault at all, but it was my friend's house, and he had kind of a very shitty white trash family, and they had a dog with worms, and they didn't want to pay the money to get the worms removed. So the dog was always shitting blood all over the house, which in hindsight is fucking, terrible. And, they should have all be shot. But again, this was when I was like, 6 or 7 years old. So my first experience of a golden retriever is a dog that shits blood all over the house. So ever since then, I've always had this weird aversion to golden retrievers. It's always been like, yeah, I like golden retrievers. I have nothing against them. It's just not really a dog I want, just because there's just this thing in my mind that's just like, oh no, I don't like that.
I'm kind of there with you. Like a roommate I had years ago had I think an American retriever, which was just a variation. It wasn't golden. It was more of a red color or some shit. I don't know, but it was. If you left anything unattended within that dog's reach, it was getting chewed to fucking shit.
I thought you were saying it was going to shit blood on it.
No, I didn't have the issue Greg had.
No.
I was a bit lucky in that, but at the same time, bloody shit can be carpet cleaned. Something that's destroyed via the dog's teeth is...
Speaking of bloody shit, Nick, what's next week's beer?
Next week's beer? We don't actually have anything lined up for next week because...
Transition ever.
How about some red ales?
We don't... Yeah, Fred Beard. So we don't have anything scheduled for next week because next week is Christmas. People probably aren't around. I mean, I'd be around later in the evening, but...
I'm going to host a show.
You're going to do a show?
I'm going to do a show later in the evening, yeah.
Okay. So sure. I assume just to hang out.
I know I got a family dinner.
Okay.
I know I got a family dinner later in the evening, so
I'm excited now.
Now hold on, it's Wednesday the 25th, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I have nothing on the 20th. We're Polish, so we celebrate on the 24th. So yeah, really? 25th. We might have like a family lunch. It's potentially
most likely we're doing our Christmas thing this weekend, I think, and yeah, I'm around. I just want to do some kind of just hang out, show and school thing on Christmas. I'm around. Yeah, why not?
I'm doing Christmas dinner over at my brother's place. So
okay, fair enough.
It'll just be super casual. It'll just be show up,
super fucking casual.
So don't wear all this. Wear just a wife beater, maybe with some stains on it, and just super cash.
Wear anything you want.
Let's do it.
There you go.
Super
you
casual.
learn a lot and leave anything around, but mopping bloody shit is forever. Gross.
Wow. There we go. Here we go. Carrie's ready for next week.
Carrie's ready to beat his wife.
No, Carrie, you cannot wear that.
Casual Christmas.
That's too casual, mister.
Yeah, you're too casual. You're too comfortable.
I'm having fun this evening.
So yeah, we'll be over on Lee's channel, High Tide and Vibe, or Hoogly or Lee Russell, or whatever you call yourself now.
Wait, Hoogly Russell.
Hoogly Russell?
I think it's the Albino Rhino beer review last time.
Hang out on Chad's channel.
I should play us out there.
Who's Chad?
I should play us out.
Do it. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Brandon, the Worm. Who else is here? Radar. You know who you are. We love you.
I'm imagining whatever that Reddit is dangling from Greg's ballsack. Why are we still alive? It wasn't his ballsack, damn it.
Choke him, Arnold!
Paul jumps in, we just